What if I told you that one character in the Amazing Digital Circus is terrified of escaping? While everyone's hunting for an exit, Jax might be the only one who never wants to leave. And episode 7 just gave us the smoking gun that proves it. Stick around, because what I'm about to reveal changes everything we thought we knew about this purple menace. So here's something wild that caught the fandom off guard. Gooseworks recently revealed her favorite episode of Digital Circus isn't the finale. It's episode 8. Not the grand conclusion in episode 9, but the one right before it. She mentioned something about it being fun in a way that feels ominous. Knowing Goose, that could mean genuine entertainment or something darkly twisted, the kind of fun Kane might find in watching everyone squirm. What we do know? Episode 8 is shaping up to be one of the most emotionally devastating chapters yet, and I'm convinced it's going to force Jax to finally confront the truth he's been running from since day one. Think about where we're headed. Episode 7 left us with massive questions. How will everyone process what just happened? What's the deal with this new Ribbit storyline? How far has Kane's mental deterioration really progressed? But here's the real kicker. The character dynamics. Episode 7 showed us something beautiful. Pomni, Ragatha, Gangle, even Zubul and Kinger are forming genuine connections. They're becoming a family. They found comfort in each other during their darkest moments. Everyone except Jax. Watch his scenes again. There's this palpable discomfort whenever friendship gets mentioned. It's not just his usual sarcasm, it's something deeper, something that looks a lot like fear. Here's my theory. Episode 8 will feature the gang making real progress toward finding an exit. Maybe they'll get closer than ever before. And when that moment comes, when freedom is within reach, Jax will refuse to take it. Sound crazy? Hear me out. Even if it means spending eternity alone in that digital prison, I believe Jax would choose the circus over the real world. Episode 7 wasn't just hinting at this, it was practically screaming it at us. From the moment Pomni, Ragatha, and Gangle approached him about stealing Kane's keys, Jax was the resistance. He kept questioning Abel's identity. He threw doubt on the entire plan. Everyone else showed excitement, hope, determination. But Jax, he was the anchor trying to drag everyone back. And there's one particular exchange that reveals everything. Remember when Zubul confronted him? She pointed out the obvious. They all have people waiting for them in the real world. Family, friends, loved ones wondering where they disappeared to. Jax agreed. But listen to how he agreed. There's no conviction in his voice, no longing. Just this hollow acknowledgement, like he's saying what he's supposed to say to avoid suspicion. It's the verbal equivalent of putting on a mask. Then watch what happens when he takes the administrator keycard from Gangle. The hesitation, the reluctance. Compare that to literally any other moment where Jax wants something. He just takes it. But this key to potential freedom, he handles it like it might burn him. The visual storytelling in episode 7 is absolutely brilliant. When the group gets close to what might be their escape route, pay attention to the staging. Everyone's together. They're talking excitedly about what they'll do when they get out. They're functioning as a unit, supporting each other. It's actually kind of beautiful. And Jax, he's trailing behind, isolated, silent. The fear is written all over his face. This is the same character who normally leads with confidence and cruelty, but put him near an actual exit, and suddenly he's paralyzed. Then comes his moment of panic, when he freezes, terrified it might all be an illusion. Under normal circumstances, classic Jax would have shoved past her without a second thought and pressed whatever button would benefit him most. But watch closely. He doesn't. He's frozen too, but for completely different reasons. He's not afraid it's fake. He's terrified it might be real. And then he presses the red button. I've talked before about the theory that Kane somehow influenced this decision. But let's dig deeper than that. Let's talk about what we saw during Jax's panic attack. We've seen Jax panic before in episode 6, but this was different. This time his breakdown came with flashes of memory, images from his real life bleeding through. A quiet suburban street. Could be anywhere in Missouri based on the architecture. Peaceful. Normal. Then the images shift. Road signs, speed limit warnings, crosswalk indicators, the kind of signs that scream, "Watch for pedestrians." The implication is chilling. Jax was involved in a fatal car accident. Someone died because of him. Suddenly, so many things make sense. Episode 4, Jax's extreme hesitation before getting in a car. Episode 2, him forcing Gangle to drive the truck instead of doing it himself. These aren't random character quirks. This is someone with severe trauma around operating vehicles. Someone whose last memory of driving probably involves sirens, flashing lights, and unimaginable guilt. Think about the timing of these flashbacks. They hit him at his moment of peak terror, right when escape becomes possible. That's not coincidental. That's his subconscious screaming that the real world means facing consequences he's been hiding from. When Zubul said people are waiting for them outside, she meant family and friends. For JAX, he's got police investigations, grieving relatives, court dates, the weight of having destroyed lives. Here's where it gets really interesting. What if JAX volunteered for this? We know CNA exists in this universe. What if JAX discovered that this company could make people disappear? What if, facing the aftermath of his accident, he saw the digital circus as an escape hatch and willingly went through that headset? Now, I know what you're thinking. Didn't JAX specifically tell Abel that none of them were CNA employees? That they all ended up here by accident? But come on, how much can we trust JAX at this point? Go back to his behavior during the escape planning. He wasn't just skeptical. He was actively trying to plant seeds of doubt in everyone else. He wanted the others to question whether freedom was possible. He was trying to kill their hope before they even tried. This is what makes the button press so revealing. In that critical moment, JAX couldn't maintain his facade. The fear of returning to reality overwhelmed everything else. His relationships with the others, their desires, their desperate need for hope. He made a completely selfish choice that trapped everyone, and he did it because his trauma took the wheel. In any other scenario, I genuinely don't think JAX would sabotage an escape. But when it became real, when freedom stopped being theoretical, his true self emerged, not the confident jokester, the terrified, broken person underneath. That's why he created this whole new personality in the circus. The cruel, detached, sarcastic character we know isn't who he really is. It's armor, a coping mechanism to avoid processing the horror he left behind. And this explains his relationship with abstraction, especially regarding Ribbit. Notice how Ribbit haunts him more than Kaufmo ever did? They were both supposedly close to JAX, but Ribbit is the one who appears in his worst moments, the one whose loss cuts deepest. I don't think JAX feels responsible for Kaufmo's abstraction. But Ribbit? That's different. There's guilt there. Massive, consuming guilt that mirrors what he feels about the accident. He couldn't save someone in the real world and it destroyed him. Then, he couldn't save Ribbit in the digital world and it's destroying him again. Same wound, different context. That's why she's his primary trigger, why she appears in his visions. She represents every failure he's trying to forget, but can't escape. So here's what I think happens in episode 8. The gang will get another chance at freedom, a real one. And JAX will have to choose between his found family and his fear. Will he finally find the courage to face what he's running from, or will he drag everyone down with him again? Goose called episode 8 her favorite for a reason. I think it's because this is where JAX's arc reaches its breaking point, where we finally see if there's anything left of the person he used to be underneath all that trauma and defense mechanisms. What do you guys think? Is JAX beyond redemption, or can he still choose differently? Drop your theories in the comments. I read every single one. And if you want more Digital Circus deep dives like this, hit that subscribe button because episode 8 is going to give us so much to talk about. Until next time, stay curious and maybe don't trust the purple rabbit.